My name is Lon Safko, co-author of the Social Media Bible, published by John Wiley & Sons, the largest book ever written on the subject of social media. And today we are here with Benj and Arriola, who has won a number one spot in 2 international SEO contests. One was the prestigious and highly budgeted 2007 SEO World Championship organized by the Swedish SEO corporation Get Updated. Benj has bested the top SEOs all around the world and overall champion, winning a brand new European car, Citroen C2. Benj is currently considered one of the top SEO professionals in the world, and today we're going to be speaking with Benj about SEO, search engine optimization. So let's get started. So Benj, can you please tell our listeners a little bit about who you are, what your background is, and mention a little bit about that award that you took?
Okay, to start off, yes, I'm Benj Arriola, as you've mentioned, an SEO engineer or SEO analyst. The titles, you could get them all mixed up, but basically I do SEO. I started out a career as a chemist, and I started to move into SEO when I started doing IT jobs on the side, simply because it was my interest, and started running a business in web design and web development, and that moved into SEO as the years went along. As for the contest, I was really fascinated by SEO, and I'm pretty much a competitive person. I like to challenge myself and see how far my skills will reach in comparison with the rest of the people in the world. So that was my main interest. It was not really to win. It was just really to test out the skills that I have. And I believe in any SEO contest, it's a learning process where you learn new things. So when I tried it out, and I've done several contests also in the past, and I was fortunate enough to win the contest and win a brand new car in 2007.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, SEO is probably the most important 3 letters that has ever affected the internet, and to be able to take a world championship and actually win a new car, I mean, really, that says a heck of a lot, because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I guess you've said it all.
Well, you and I know what SEO is and what search engine optimization is, but most of the people that are going to be reading this Social Media Bible probably isn't going to have a real handle on, first of all, what is search engine optimization, and secondly, why is it so important? Can you just kind of tell the beginner some tips about it, what it is, and why is it important to them?
Okay, so what it is, search engine optimization, from the word itself, this is optimizing a website to perform well in search engines. As we all know, in the internet today, in visiting many of the websites, Google is almost like a verb today, where people say you Googled it. So people get to websites today through search engines. They search for what they're looking for. It could be a product, it could be a service. And in search engine optimization, this is making sure that websites perform well in search engines, giving these websites top rankings. When we say top rankings, these are like the first positions in the search engine results, trying to be there in the top 1 spot, or at least in the first 3 pages. Because as research shows, most people don't go beyond 3rd page.
True. So search engine optimization really is about tweaking your web pages, not just your home page, by the way, but your other web pages, to make them search engine compatible, so that when somebody is looking for a particular keyword that represents your product or service, that your website is done in such a way that you show up at least on the first page or the first 3 pages, because after that you pretty much don't have a chance.
Yes. So comparing that to traditional media, compared to TV, print, and radio, search engine optimization, at least you know your target market is really searching for you. Unlike TV ad spots, you're relying everything on demographic data, hoping that the watching audience is your target market, even if they're not really looking for your product or service.
So the trick is that as soon as they get on the internet and type in a few keywords that represent what you do or sell, that you really want to kind of direct them over to your website so you can start building that relationship.
True.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And what are some of the pitfalls? Because I know that over the last couple of years, I've taught SEO, SEM in probably about over 100 cities a year. And inevitably, I always hear some of the horror stories about companies that are supposedly selling search engine optimization, and in a lot of cases, they really aren't, as well as search engine registering. And what are some of the pitfalls should people look out for?
Okay, pitfalls first is there are really some credible search engine optimization companies out there, and there are also some that are they think they know what they're doing, but they don't really know what they're doing, or some purposely really know that they don't know what they're doing, but they're still selling the service. Okay. So pitfalls first is guaranteed rankings. Any company that guarantees a ranking, that is already a red flag. You can't really guarantee an organic spot. What you could guarantee probably is a sponsored result or using pay-per-click advertising, but that is also not guaranteed depending on the budget a client is willing to spend. Now, a person that or an SEO firm that explains more of methodology and shows ranking results over time, doing reporting, showing trending results, and has a plan that will show you how to get to a higher ranking, and then that sounds more of a more credible company. Someone that says that they could provide improved ranking sounds more better than guaranteeing a certain spot, like a number one position. Although most of the time it is achievable, but guaranteeing it is not something that you could really promise.
That's a really good point, because you do hear a lot of companies, especially marketing companies, who were traditional marketing companies a few years ago, and then when SEO became fashionable, they sold that service to their clients when in fact they really don't have a clue. And guaranteed, I think that's a really good point that you brought up, because if you do search engine optimization, there is no guarantee, but you will see really good results. The only guarantee is that if you don't do it, you won't show up at all.
Yes, true. I guess another thing that consumers, all other companies that will avail SEO services, that should look out for is companies that are too much focused on ranking. There are so many companies that are focused on ranking today, and SEO today it's slowly moving into the direction of looking into conversions, where conversion is either a sale or a lead, or having a visitor download the software, a trial software, an ebook, a white paper. That is what you want. You want someone to use your site, because sometimes if you concentrate so much on ranking, even though you get the number one spot for your targeted keyword, if they visit your site, they're not pleased, they hit the back button, they go to the number 2 one, and they're pleased, you lost your market right there.
That's another really good point. I'm so happy that you brought that up, because SEO is about getting ranked, getting in the listing, and getting people to click on that to get them over to your website. But if your homepage isn't palatable, isn't exciting, doesn't have a what's in it for you, a takeaway for the clients, it doesn't do any good to do SEO, because the customers will simply leave your site and go someplace else.
Very true.
So what you're saying is it's kind of a full program, not just the technology of SEO.
Very true. I believe that SEO works hand in hand with everything else in the whole internet marketing business. It works well. It should. SEO teams in your web development team should have no conflicts at all. I believe usability and SEO also go well hand in hand. Mm-hmm. And I believe every other form of internet marketing should work well with SEO, from email marketing to social media marketing. All merged together in one big plan.
So, and that's one of the exciting things about social media. A lot of people don't really consider email to be part of social media, but it is. It's a tool for communication, and it's really about, if I'm hearing you correctly, is that bringing all of the tools that bear, both social media tools as well as SEO tools, as well as good common sense, that it really is an integrated program.
Yes, I agree. That's exactly it.
Can you mention a little bit about, well, here's one of the things that you did kind of mention, is that you have to make the website and the content palatable for the user, and you also have to make it designed efficiently for the spider or the robot or the search engines. And what's this thing that you hear about keyword density and making sure that your content actually matches your keywords, and some of the tricks that people are using that they shouldn't? I mean, is there some specifics that you can share with us?
Okay, since you mentioned there are tricks that some people shouldn't be doing, so more on the SEO part, I guess I've been seeing more and more SEOs concentrating too much on getting links, and links is a good thing actually, because it's like a vote of authority, it's like a vote of credibility to the search engines. Since if more sites are linking to you, that means you must be important. Thus, you should get ranked higher. But there are more and more SEO people out there that are just doing the link for the link alone and not giving some good content behind it. It's some people are concentrated too much on artificial link building that they abuse it so much, and the search engines are really detecting that right now, and they're no longer giving too much benefit to links that have no value. So
that gets back to the term external reputable links, emphasis on the word reputable?
Yes, reputable is one good word to use there. Authoritative as well.
So your content on your site should pretty much at least align or somewhat complement the content on the external link, or the search engines are going to recognize it and know that you're just trying to trick them?
They should really have relevant content. They should be related. And if you're just linking from so many places that are not related, the search engines could already detect that, and they know that you're tricking them already.
Okay. And what about some of the other things, like having multiple URLs and portals and cloaking and...
Yeah, multiple URLs, that's one thing that we also want to minimize, because this has been a technique used in the past, making multiple sites, making doorway pages, making all these other pages, which their objective is to fill up the whole page, the whole page one or first few pages of search results, all going to your site. Now, if all of these are all similar content, then this is where the search engine started applying the duplicate content filters. So what we want to do is we want to minimize all these URLs, all which are all your sites, and it would be nice to just focus on one site, depending on the product and service you're offering, and just concentrate on one site alone and a single URL, single domain.
So that also applies to redirects. And for our listeners who don't understand, redirect is when you have a multiple website address and somebody types it in, you don't even notice, it just automatically takes you to the main website, but it creates another portal. Search engines get upset about that?
Well, redirects could be used in two ways. The good way to use it is to consolidate all your old pages or your old domains, and you're fixing your website and make them consolidate to all a single domain. That is the good thing to do. Now, the abusive way of using redirects is buying old websites and using all these other pages, all these other websites. Some could be related, some could be not, and just making them all redirect to your single site. And whenever a page redirects, all the link connectivity that a site has, when it's redirected to your site, you bring along that link connectivity. It looks like your links are increasing. So it could be abused in a way, although in general it still is a good ethical SEO technique to consolidate all your web pages that are all duplicates.
Great. So basically, if it's legitimate, the search engines will probably recognize it. But if you're just hijacking traffic, then they'll probably pick up on that as well.
Yes, I agree. Although I could say, it's not 100% easy to detect.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's always someone out there that could find it. And once another SEO person could find it, that's one of your worst enemies, because Google has their own spam report form, and also Yahoo and MSN has their own spam report form. Just have to fill it up and report the competitor website.
And speaking of that, wasn't there an issue a couple of years ago with BMW having multiple portals and redirects?
Yes, I believe the main issue with BMW, that was the German site, that was the .de.
Mm-hmm.
It was a poor man's cloaking. Poor man's cloaking was just a simple JavaScript. It was a no-script tag, wherein it was stuffed with many keywords. Amazingly, it still works, because a lot of SEO people will say keyword stuffing doesn't work anymore, where you just stuff your page with tons of keywords. Right. Even though they don't appear on the page, it helps in your ranking. But in the case of BMW, it was helping them, probably because also with the authority of their domain, keyword stuffing in a simple no-script, JavaScript, no-script cloak content, it was ranking them high. And when Google found out about it, they kicked them out of the search engine results. Although they modified their page, I believe, within 2 days only, and they appealed to be included again, and they got back.
And can you imagine that? I mean, if you try to trick the search engines, and that's the cool thing I respect about Yahoo, MSN, and especially Google, is that if you try to trick them and they catch you, they'll notify you and say, stop it, and you do actually have a chance to make good. But I believe in BMW's case, they kind of got a little bit arrogant about it and didn't respond quick enough, and the penalty, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, is that Google or the other search engines will actually remove your company's websites for up to 5 years.
Yes, they will. Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine being the head of IT having to tell your direct report that you've caused your company to be permanently eliminated from all search engines for 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, it is. It is a big problem.
And you mentioned cloaking and keyword stuffing. For our listeners, can you just kind of explain a little bit about what those two terms are?
Okay, cloaking is basically showing a different content to people that visit your site, and also different content that is seen by the search engines. It could be done in several methods. It could be from JavaScript to CSS hiding to more deeper methods like user agent detection, which is like a browser detection,
wow,
or IP address detection, which is detecting the IP address of the person visiting your site. And for keyword stuffing, that is used in combination with the cloaking, where these keywords are stuffed within the page so that it helps the ranking of the page. But when caught, then you get your corresponding penalties, and instead of improving your site, you're actually decreasing your ranking.
You get driven to the bottom of the list.
Yes.
And one of the common things that I heard in the early days, which luckily nobody's really doing anymore, and it gets back to this keyword density, if I'm not mistaken, where you tell the search engines in your code what are the important words, and then you're using those words to communicate with your customer, and the search engine kind of compares the two. And one of the earlier cloaking, which I thought was kind of clever, is taking all of the keywords, whether they're appropriate or not, and just putting them at the bottom of the page and making them the same color as the background, so you couldn't see them.
Oh yeah, that was one of the early methods that people were doing, like white text on white background, black text on black background, and it did work for a while. But that's old school cloaking. I could say that cloaking still exists up to today, but it's more of the advanced methods on the dark side, where most of the time it's IP detection and user agent detection.
And your advice is don't do it.
Of course.
Okay, so Benj, tell me, I mean, everybody's going to want to know the answer to this question. How did you win the contest? What are some of the specific strategies and techniques and tactics did you actually use? How could you advise them? I mean, what did you do? Give us the secrets.
Okay, so basically, that contest was, the keywords were about global warming. So what I wanted to make is really a good content site, because a website with really good content could be viral, and add that twist of controversy, add something that would push people to really, when someone reads it, they should have a feeling that they really want to pass it on to someone they know. It could be in any medium, by word of mouth, by phone, by email, by IM, in forums, in blogs, and that's the whole viral concept. Now, if your site is virally working already, imagine just putting in social media within it, from social bookmarking to social networking. Each person is connected to another person. It makes the spread even go faster. And when that spreads, that's the ultimate link bait right there. Someone is just going to link to you, and they're just going to link and link and link to you. Although writing content, it requires some talent to make it viral. And it doesn't always have to be content. It could be images, could be videos. And in my case, in the contest, since it was related about global warming, I came up with controversial topics about global warming, wherein I was saying that global warming is not due to man-made carbon dioxide. Just by the title alone, people might react and say it is. So making that twist is what made it go around the scientific community as well as the political bloggers.
Clever.
And it just helped overall in the whole contest.
So again, content is really the most important thing, and sometimes just going middle of the road, kind of vanilla mainstream isn't necessarily the best way to go. You created a viral effect by just being controversial.
Yes, I agree. That's it.
So it kind of gets back to the what's in it for me, for your clients or for whoever's actually looking at the page. If it's entertaining, if it has a good takeaway, then they'll simply pass it on to their trusted network.
I agree. I think that's how you could say it all in one sentence.
So the cool thing is, what I'm hearing is that really, if it's not so much about the technology and the cloaking and the keyword stuffing, really, it gets back to just putting the effort into creating good content.
I totally agree. And this is also something that the novice SEO people should figure out. There's so many beginner SEOs that are concentrated so much in what's the best way to write a title tag, what's the best way where do I get most links, where could I link to, who could link to me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just common sense in making something really, really good and then doing all the basics where it's all the on-page and off-page optimization.
That's one of the things that I appreciate about this industry, and especially about the search engines, is that it's about integrity. That if the search engines return the best possible relevant search results, then that makes them a better search engine. And I think it's Google's algorithm, for example, that kind of pulled out ahead in front of Yahoo, even though Yahoo had most of the market, because the search engine results were just that much more relevant to the searcher.
I totally agree. And speaking about that, whenever Google has a algorithmic change, they're doing it to improve it, to come up with more relevant results. And they're also doing it so that people that are doing shady SEO techniques start getting pushed down. And it's kind of funny when Google tries to improve its algorithm, there are some SEO people that complain, wherein in a way, they should be happy and challenged because all you have to do is come up with good content. That's going to be the future. And how I picture the future of SEO, it's really the creative people that's going to really make it smart. People that could come up with real cool viral stuff is the future of SEO, and it's no longer the technical linking and changing things in the code.
And that's a great observation, because so many of us are kind of hamstrung or don't have the ability to make changes to our web pages because the IT people kind of hold it hostage, if you would. I mean, my background is IT, so I'm not saying anything against IT, but it became so technical that the marketing, the public relations people, the sales people really lost control over the last decade of the web page. So if I hear you correctly, it kind of sounds like there's a kind of a shift here where it's less technical and actually just more creative.
I totally agree. Although the technical things should be already there by default. It's like everyone's going to learn it sooner or later, and everyone knows it, and it's going to be a standard where everyone's doing it correctly. And with usability on the rise, that's even pushing it even more, where all the standards will be in place and done correctly. And when everyone's doing that, who has the upper hand in ranking if everyone's doing the correct thing in coding?
I like it.
And that's when the creativity will come into play.
And that's where my excitement, and that's why I took a personal interest and actually taught across the country SEO and SEM. And the reason is it's really it's about integrity. The more integrity you have, the more integrity is built into the search engine algorithms, the higher possibility you get of a higher ranking.
I agree.
Cool. Can you think of any specific, talk about business successes. I mean, the fact that you actually won a world championship and they gave you a car, that's a pretty good example. Can you think of any other practical examples where SEO, search engine optimization, actually kind of pays off? I mean, can you think of an example?
Well, when we say example, are we talking about our own clients?
Yeah, any client, or even something that you've read about or...
Yeah, I work with two hats here.
Yeah.
First is I'm an SEO engineer for Business Online, where they work with top brand clients. Although I also own my own small SEO business. Some people might think there's a conflict of interest there, but the company I work for are not interested in the small mom and pop companies, while in my own SEO business is where I work with the smaller clients. And with successes, I have several SEO clients that had different kinds of problems, and they're all across the board in different industries. Mm-hmm. You have the car manufacturers to apartments and hotels to universities, and I can't think of what story I'm going to tell.
Okay, well, specifically, but what you're saying is that SEO really applies to every single industry, and everybody can benefit by playing the game fairly.
Very true. Mm-hmm.
Well, excellent. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners about search engine optimization you think might be helpful for them to kind of get started and motivated?
Okay, to get started and motivated, I guess first thing is people look for schools, and sometimes there's no good school. There are some that are some certification programs. They could be very expensive to very cheap. I'm not saying that they're not good. Actually, they could be a good starting point, but I guess most of the best information are from the community itself. Just sharing with more SEO professionals. Mm-hmm. And the more you share is the more you learn. If you're trying to get information just from other people and you're not sharing that much, sometimes you also won't get that much information as well. So be a part of the community and share. Don't be intimidated. Try to look at the big picture. Mm-hmm. Sometimes some SEO people just look at one technique and they're stuck with it. It's nice to try to get the overall picture of everything and see how everything falls into place.
Good advice.
I guess that's that's all I can say.
Yeah, that's good advice. And then, I mean, the advice that you gave earlier, too, about how to pick the right search engine company, the type of questions and the type of philosophy they have, that's really helpful as well. And lastly is, where can listeners find out more about search engine optimization, or specifically more information about you and the type of work you do, and maybe even how you won that world championship?
Okay, for more information about search engine optimization, they're basically online. There's a lot of blogs and forums talking about search engine optimization.
Okay.
I guess one of the top ones is Search Engine Land. And these bloggers here are from multiple SEO companies, so they're not biased to a single company. They're not trying to self-promote themselves, although in a way they are self-promoting themselves.
Yeah, of course.
And more information about me, if ever you're interested. For mostly, I would recommend going to Business Online. That's businessol.com.
Okay.
If you believe you are not much of a big business that Business Online would pay attention to, you could always contact me personally in my own small business, and basically just search for Benj Arriola, or I could just give up my email on the air. Spam filters are pretty good today, so that's Benj, BNJ, at benjarriola.com. That's BNJARRIOLA.com.
So what you're telling me is that if I type in your name, you might actually show up in the search engines.
I should, yes.
Good. That's our goal for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Benj, really honestly, thank you. I'd like to thank Benj Arriola, world champion search engine optimization guru, for being here today with us and sharing those incredible insights. And again, really, thank you, Benj. Very enlightening. I appreciate it. And this has been Lon Safko, co-author of the Social Media Bible. Be sure to check out our other valuable social media tactics, tools, and strategies that can be found in the Social Media Bible book, as well as our website at www.thesocialmediabible.com. And for more information on me, Lon Safko, or to learn how I can speak at your company or your next event, please by all means visit my website at www.lonsafko.com. And yes, if you type in Lon Safko, the search engines will take you to my website. Again, thank you, Benj, for being with us here today.
Thank you very much, too. It was a pleasure. And thanks.
Take care now. Thanks.
Okay. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.